Oh man, there's some like really moronic stuff going on in Virginia for starters. They're talking about limiting people to one gun a month, and oh yeah, they're also limiting the way victims of domestic violence can protect themselves. Our next guest is a writer from the Washington Free Beacon, Stephen Gutowski. Please tell me I didn't
Hey,
butcher
how you
that.
doing?
Please tell me I didn't butcher that last name again.
It's close enough, right? Gutowski,
Gutowski.
Gutowski, whatever.
Gutowski.
It's better than 90% of other people.
Okay, good. As long as I'm better than 90%, I'm happy. Like I'm kind of
But
like a
it's good
lowered
to be with
expectation
you.
kind of guy.
What is it again? Colion Noir, is that right?
Touche, my brother. Touche. All right, so Colion Noir has some questions for you. All right, so let's talk about these restrictive anti-gun initiatives. Now, Virginia has at one point had this kind of limitation of one gun a month law before. That was taken away, and now there's talks of bringing it back after there was this sting operation that took place where there was this huge gun smuggling ring where about 24 guys were involved in taking guns from Virginia and bringing them into New York. Did I get
Yeah.
the gist of that?
Yeah, that's the gist of it, right? There was a big bust in New York City a few weeks back where they caught a bunch of gun runners, basically people who were committing all sorts of illegal acts, running guns up to New York and selling them to criminals. And
So
some of those guns came from,
criminals being criminals.
yeah, basically
Okay.
criminals committing criminal acts
Yeah.
with other criminals. Things that are illegal 15 times over in 15 different ways.
Yeah.
Already, obviously. But this has led to the governor of Virginia, Terry McAuliffe, who's a Democrat. He proposed an amendment to a separate, unrelated gun bill that would bring back the one gun a month rule, which is somewhat self-explanatory, right? You can
Yeah.
only buy one handgun a month.
Yeah, because
Under this
we're living in the 19th we're living in what the 15th century now.
Right. Or you face like up to a year in prison or a $2,500 fine if you buy more than one handgun a month.
If you attempt to buy more than one handgun, I'm confused. So how does it?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Well,
let me go ahead.
if you actually purchase more than one handgun in a month under this rule, you would potentially be sentenced to a year in jail.
That's the
Obviously, this rule's
dumbest
not in
shit I've
place.
heard. I'm sorry.
That's what they want to do.
Okay, let me get this straight. So the catalyst for this idea that they want to reinstate this law that they once had before is based off of this basically this gun smuggling ring where criminals were illegally engaging in straw purchases, bringing them into New York illegally, and now they want to make it illegal for anyone to purchase more than one gun a month. That's the logic behind that.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Okay, yeah, I still don't get it. I just don't. Because all right, so let's look at the facts of this case, right? So we had, I think they smuggled what 217 guns into New York. There was and the ring. The ring consisted of about 24 people, and so let's say for instance, and my math may be wrong, so catch me if it is, but if we had individuals who, let's say each one of those got somebody to do a straw purchase for them once a month, right? If we break that number down, 200 plus guns, that's what about that? You basically need about what 22-ish people to buy one gun a month for the 9 months that this whole thing took place. Wouldn't we still be looking at the same number of guns that they brought into New York if this law existed, so to speak?
Possibly. I mean, this ring was already using, as you said, illegal straw purchases to get the guns that they were buying in Virginia anyway. So they were already committing a crime in doing that. And then when they would transport them up to New York, that's a crime. And then when they'd sell them to someone who's not legally allowed to possess a gun, that's another crime. And it goes on and on. There's this what they did is illegal many times over already. So adding another sort of layer of illegality to the whole process, you could certainly question if that's going to do any good or not, and one that affects everyone so widely in the state.
That's the interesting thing about that too, because it's like to propose this would insinuate that the laws currently in place don't work. but clearly they worked enough to know that they started a sting operation, which inevitably involved in the arrest of these 24 people who were doing these illegal things. So
Right.
I'm kind of baffled as to how this kind of serves as the catalyst for that, when clearly in this case the law is working, and then on top of that, there is. I think a lot of people on the other side and politicians don't understand there is no viable way to stop straw purchases unless you ban guns outright.
Sure.
There's literally no other way. And so from that perspective, I'm wondering I'm not really wondering, I know, what's the overall end goal with respect to these moronic laws or initiatives that they keep passing in response to basically examples of the law working.
Right. Well, I mean, anyone could speculate at what the actual true motivations of Terry McAuliffe and his supporters are in this situation, but this is a common talking point here in Virginia from people who are for gun control or more gun control, is that Virginia is some sort of supplier, the black market of guns, that it's so much easier to buy a gun here than in places like Washington, D.C. or Maryland or New York, that the idea is that criminals come here to buy their guns and then take them back there. But the point, like you already said, I mean, doing that is already illegal in a number of different ways, as we've covered, and not to mention the fact that if you buy a bunch of guns all at once in Virginia, there is a mechanism where you're reported to the police so that they can monitor. It's a red flag basically. They can monitor what you're doing with those guns,
which I'm pretty sure is
which is
probably what tipped up. I'm not going to be surprised if that's what actually tripped the initial investigation to create the sting in the first place. I'm just going to go on a limb and say that's probably what happened.
Yeah, so there's already a mechanism for people who are like these criminals that are coming in and trying to buy a bunch of guns all at once and take them somewhere else to sell them. There's already mechanisms in place that monitor that kind of thing.
Yeah, I just find it incredible. It's almost hilarious at this point, just because, like, you literally, it's an initiative that is basically affecting no one else but you and I, and everybody else who we're now worried about. Instead of focusing on actually, I don't know, making the consequence for engaging in straw purchases a higher punishment, we're focusing on limiting the rights of people who we're not worried about in the first place. Like, so because now you have one group of criminals engaging in something they're not supposed to be doing. We already have laws in place that tells them they're not supposed to be doing that. Those laws worked, and now they're being charged and probably going to go to jail for those very things. No. Let's create laws that make it even harder for everyone else to get guns because of these guys over here, which the laws we currently have actually work and demonstrated so. By way of this example, I'm a little confused right now, and I don't really know what to do with the information at this point.
Well, you're certainly not the only one who feels that way. What I've seen in Virginia.
Well, that's incredibly unfortunate in that regard. We're gonna take a quick break real quick, and we'll come back. We'll come back and continue talking with Stephen about some other things.